order to be able to manage them, in order to be able to regulate them, lazima waelewe vitu zingine about what they see, their lives online, how they interact with each other, because that's how you move from a point of knowledge, and that's how you'll be able to support them vizuri. Okay, so when you talk about the digital landscape for children, kuna social media apps that they use that are common. So I just want to give a brief introduction of what these social media apps are. So the first one, I think tuko familiar nazo, ni TikTok. So TikTok is a video sharing site. It's mostly centered on videos, short videos, dances, challenges, trends. And what I want to highlight is that each of these social media platforms, they have their strengths and they have their weaknesses. They have their risks and they have their rewards. Okay, so for TikTok, it offers creativity, trends, humor. It gives a platform for connection. But now the risk of TikTok is inappropriate content and grooming, because age verification at TikTok, it's not that strong. Like even if you're under 18, you can still join TikTok. And now when you join TikTok, people can DM you, like people can inbox you. Okay. There's Instagram. Instagram, it's mostly centered around pictures. It's a very aesthetic site. Like you share pictures of how your day is, you share pictures of each other. Ukipata boyfriend, hapo ndo mtu ana upload boyfriend wake ama girlfriend. So it gives a platform for validation and connection. Lakini sasa the risk is cyberbullying and body image issues, because imagine now, put yourself in the mind of a teenager. Maybe you become like una grow and you're not very slim, sindio? And then you log on to Instagram, unapata another girl who is akona figure 8. Anasemanga figure kama chupa ya soda. Yeah. How that creates kind of like a comparison between you and what you're seeing, sindio? So now you become a bit insecure about yourself. You get body image issues, or let's say you're a guy and you're short like me. I grew up very short, and then you log on to Instagram, naona mtu ako 6 feet and he's younger than you. Kutakuwa na body image issues hapo, sindio? Now there's also Snapchat. How many of us know Snapchat? So Snapchat, it's a site that when you upload your stories, when you try to DM somebody, those texts, they disappear after 24 hours. Inbox mtu, you understand? Yeah. So when you inbox somebody on Snapchat, by default those messages disappear after 24 hours. And when you try to screenshot a conversation, the app will tell the other person mwenye unaongelesha that so and so has screenshotted your conversation. So kama ni mimi na Kang'ethe tunaongea, and then we are talking on Snapchat, and then I screenshot the message, I screenshot the chat, the app will tell Kang'ethe, guy has screenshotted your chat. Okay? So it offers privacy, because not only do the chats disappear, but the app also tells you when somebody has screenshotted. Okay? But now that carries the risk of giving you a false sense of security, giving teenagers a false sense of security. So it increases the risk of sexting, grooming, and, like I've said, a false sense of security. Now next, I'm sure I'm familiar. Okay, and also, just so that you know, these are the icons. These are the icons of each social media platform. so that mjue mkiangalia kwa like maybe if you're going through the phone of your kid what they look like. So this is TikTok, this is Instagram, the purple part, and then Snapchat ni ya yellow with a small ghost hapo ndani. So next is WhatsApp and Telegram. I think we're familiar with WhatsApp. So WhatsApp and Telegram, they're basically the same. They're almost the same. So you connect with your number, and now it's more focused on chatting directly with people or groups. Okay, so it's easy to message, but now the risk of WhatsApp and Telegram is that it gives a platform for explicit media and unsupervised groups. So WhatsApp and Telegram are where nudes are usually shared. The groups, because I don't need, like, tukiwa, let's say all of us are teenagers, we don't need an adult to form a WhatsApp group. So it's just the numbers, sindio? Nachukua namba yako and we form a group. There's no supervision hapo, so you don't know what your teenagers are talking about kwa your group, sababu it doesn't need to supervise. And it's the same with Telegram. So these are the icons for WhatsApp and Telegram. Now there's also YouTube and Discord. So YouTube, it's for video sharing, and Discord it's for gaming. It's an app for gaming, online games. So when a person, let's say I'm playing a certain online game, like let's say I'm playing a certain game like Delta Force. If I go on Discord, I can search and find another person who is playing the same game as me, and now we connect that way. Like it's a place for shared hobbies, especially gaming. It's mostly centered around games. Now with YouTube and Discord, the advantage of that is entertainment and gaming. You can get like a lot of entertainment from those two apps. But now the risk is exposure to harmful content. Sababu, like I said, for a lot of social media apps, the age verification haikuangi that strong. So even if I'm under 18 and I get onto these platforms, I don't have to like verify my age. So now that means that I might be exposed to harmful content. Like for example, an accident, tuseme accident imefanyika mahali, and then mtu akuja record the scene and then uploads it to YouTube. I might be exposed to that if I'm young, even if I'm young. And now Discord is basically the same, because you can still share media on Discord. So it can create a platform for unsafe content. So this naona you nini ya YouTube, icon ya YouTube. Now below that, this purple one, that's the icon for Discord. That's how Discord looks like on the phone. I hope you can see my mouse. Yeah. Now X, Threads, and Reddit. So I've grouped some of these social media platforms together because they're very related to one another. So X, Threads, and Reddit. X was formerly Twitter, and then Elon Musk akainunua, and then he changed it. So kuna X, kuna Threads, and Reddit. So these ones, unlike Instagram and Snapchat, they're mostly centered on writing. That is, they are very text-based. So a lot of debates, a lot of giving your opinion, and then you give your opinion and you can explain your opinion. So it gives a nice platform for expression and curiosity. Lakini sasa the issue is limited moderation. So the rules, the terms of service are the rules of a certain social media platform. The rules of that platform, they're not very strict with what is shared and what the opinion, like what opinions you're giving. So mtu anaweza enda huko aandike hate speech, and it would be very moderated. Understood? Yeah. So those are some of the common platforms that teenagers are using nowadays. And now we can talk about the digital lingo and emojis that you guys should probably know. So that mkisikia wakiongea msikuwe mna float. And I want you to be very keen. Sawa? Sababu kuna quiz at the end of it. So be very keen. Okay? So children and teens, they usually use coded languages and emojis to communicate topics. Sometimes, most of the time actually it's innocent, but a lot of the times also inaweza kuwa very suggestive. Okay? So understanding that is key, because not every use is harmful, but you as parents, you should be aware of the possible meaning. Sababu hata nyinyi when you're growing up, si mlikuwa na lingo that you are using, mlikuwa na slang yenu. Hebu give me some of the words. Where do you know give us some of the words that you're using when you were a teenager? Mzai. Karo, when you're a teenager, what are some of the slang words that you are using? Windrows. Huh? Buddha. Kang'ethe, kwa kwanza unakaa kwa ulikuwa unatunga zako. Give us like one. Mukuru. Yeah. So sinaona pia nyinyi mlikuwa na, like when you're growing up, you had your own words. So even it hasn't changed. Pia siku hizi they have their own words. Sindio? So we start with the emojis, okay? So the emojis, the fire emoji, it means cool, popular, attractive, yani kitu mzuri, kitu inabamba. So you say, like when you see something nice, you comment, unaona mtu ameweka fire, means I like that, or that thing is cool. The skull emoji, it means I'm dead, meaning something is very funny. Yani umecheka hadi umekufa. See you devil. It just means something is very funny. Huh? Just in general. It can actually be used interchangeably with the laughing emoji. Yani kitu nifanya hadi nimekumaliza. And then there's this one, clock it looks like this. I think unakaa unajua, fresher, unakaa unajua. Yeah. Yeah. So it means that you're in agreement with something. So when somebody says something that you agree with, you clock it. Kang'ethe una ni hivi. Yeah. And then red flag. A red flag is a warning sign. That is, mtu ako na tabia that you don't agree with. So if I see something that I don't like about you, I say, that's a red flag. And then there's this emoji, a cloud. It means to run fast or leave quickly. So unakimbia hadi you leave a cloud behind you. Now, these are some of the emojis that show possible drug use or substance use. So there's the leaf emoji combined with the dust emoji or the smoke emoji versus and also the cigarette emoji. So this means vaping or smoking. Unajua vape? A vape is kind of like an electric cigarette. So instead of like smoking the normal one, kanakanga ka battery, and it uses vapors. That's why it's called vape. Okay, but it's still a drug because it has nicotine still, and it's actually more harmful because iko na chemicals zingine. So it means vaping or smoking. Now a juice box or a battery emoji. So that can be used to reference drugs or energy. So mtu unaona ana text I need and then ana text battery emoji. Inamaanisha I need a drug to pick me up. Kuna vile na feel niko low sahi, so I need something to kujaza battery yangu, and that is usually a drug. Okay. The wine emoji, the beer emoji, and the champagne emoji inamaanisha pombe. That's used to show alcohol use. Now I want to make you guys also uncomfortable, even more uncomfortable. So these are the sexual or suggestive emojis. Okay? And mesema mkoe keen because there's going to be a quiz after this. So kuna the eggplant emoji. Hii emoji ya purple. It's used to represent the male genitals or the penis. See eggplant. Kena mtu ametext, I want, yeah, it's not for a salad. Kena mtu ametext, I want the eggplant emoji, haimaanishi anataka salad. Inamaanisha, I want a penis. Then there's the peach emoji, here orange. That's used to signify buttocks because it's shaped like the buttocks. So ukiona mtu ametext she has a nice, alafu yake hiyo emoji, haimaanishi ati she has a nice peach, inamaanisha she has nice buttocks. Aya, the cherry emoji. This is a cherry. It's used to signify breasts. Hizo si plums, they're breasts. Hizo si nyanya. Aya, next is the taco emoji. So a taco it's a Mexican food. So venye inatengenezangwa, you have like kitu kama chapo, and then you put meat and other stuff inside, alafu you fold it like this. So that's the taco emoji. But now in the digital lingo, it means the female genitals or the vagina. So ukiona hiyo emoji, most likely the person is referring to the vagina. So ukiona mtu akitext mtu mwingine she has a tight emoji, it doesn't mean that she knows how to make snacks. So alafu the water droplets emoji, that is ejaculation or arousal. So it can either mean ejaculation or semen, or it can mean that a person is aroused, because when a lady is aroused, she gets wet. So that's what they used to signify that. The way you guys are using it are very different. It's very different. Just imagine. Natext mtoto wako aende maji, alafu naeka hiyo emoji, kumbe you have received such. I need some plums. Kumbe kuna kitu ingine unasema. Unaitisha vitu zingine. Bado tunaendelea tu. So there's the devil face emoji here, purple, the purple devil emoji. That is used when you are flirting or sexual suggestion. So ukiona mtu ana text, naweza kuja kwako kesho, alafu that emoji inamaanisha that person, he or she wants sex, because it's used to signify like a sexual suggestion, because you're being naughty. So the devil is naughty, so hiyo ndo anatumia. Yeah. Kieka emoji, ukiona mtu ameweka emoji, haimaanishi anasema ati shetani ashindwe. There's another use for it. It means that wanataka like it's very sexual. Now there's also the tongue emoji or the brain emoji. That is used to reference oral sex, either a blowjob or cunnilingus, like licking each other's genitals, because it comes from slang. So teenagers wakisema she gave me head or he gave me head, inamaanisha that person gave them oral sex. Because when you're giving oral sex, you're using your tongue, which is on your head. So you're giving that person head. So ukiona the tongue emoji or the brain emoji, that means the person was giving head or giving oral sex. So ukiona mtu akitext alikuja kwangu and gave me, and then the brain emoji imaanishi walikuja revision, inamaanisha she gave that person oral sex. Nipose mkunywa maji, nakaa mko very So the eye emoji, it means interest or attraction. It means that you find somebody sexy. Huh? Yes, si kushtuka. Si kushtuka. Haimaanishi kushtuka. It means that you find that person sexy. So ukiona mtu akitext, uliona uliona fulani jana, alafu ake hiyo emoji, inamaanisha she looked sexy or he looked sexy. Si hadi alimwona, si hati alishtuka. And then the lip biting emoji, it's basically the same as the devil emoji. It's used for seductive or suggestive expression. So kuja kwangu kesho alafu uone hiyo emoji. It's like unaoma when a person bites their lips, kuna a sexual or flirtatious nini hapo, a sexual or flirtatious suggestion kama hii. So that's what it's signifying. Emaanisha ati mtu alijuma ulimi. Yesi kuuma ulimi. For teenagers now that has a different meaning. Alafu the last one, it's corn. Yosi maize. Yosi mahindi. It's used to reference porn. Yeah, your mission. The maize emoji. Yosi mahindi. So it's used to reference nini porn, because on social media platforms, sometimes if you use certain words, unaweza kuwa censored. So in order to bypass those censors, they use words that sound like other words. So corn sounds like porn. So now that's what they use. Now they use the emoji version of that word, so corn. So ukiona corn inamaanisha porn. So corn is maize, so that's what they use. I repeat the mission. Zote. Okay. You're shocked. You go overwhelmed. So the eggplant emoji, actually unaweza toa, if you have your phone you can look at them. Gani imekushtua? Your buttocks. Unaweza ziangalia. Uko unaandikia mtoto wako shopping list. Enda kwa WhatsApp ya keyboard. Please bring for me maize. Please bring for me, alafu naeka emoji ya mahindi hapo. Kumbe. So this is the corn emoji. It means porn. Porn. mbaya. Ya akili, touch brain. Kang'era gani imekushtua sana? Ya akili. Ndio hiyo. Ya akili. Hiyo si akili, haimaanishi mko nini? Mdomo. Kuna watu wako nazo kwa reasons hapa. Kuna watu wanazitumianga bila kujua. I see you. Yeah. We are sharing knowledge. And that's why we are saying context matters, because kwako unaweza kuwa unaiangalia from a different perspective, lakini kwao inamaanisha something completely different. Hizo si plums, hizo ni breasts. Yeah. Yeah. Wanakupea. Hiyo koni ya jana ilibamba, si githeri. Si ati githeri ilikuwa inabamba. They were watching something else. Any question up to there? So we can go to some of the words that they're using. We've looked at the emojis, so we can. Pilipili. Yeah. By that and easy. Pilipili inamaanisha spicy, like something is spicy or sexy. So the ones that nimeweka hapo are the most common, lakini obviously kuna zingine. If I give all of them, it would be like too long. Plus sometimes they change. Lakini pilipili, it means spicy. Something is spicy, something is hot. In a sexy way. So you can go to the words that they're using. Tumeangalia the emoji, so what are some of the words? Delulu. Hii mnajua, hii mnakaa mnajua. Delusional. Delusional, delulu. So it's wishful thinking. I'm delulu, but he likes me. Maybe I'm delulu, but I think he likes me. Riz is charisma or flirtation. He's got mad riz. So inamaanisha mtu ako na game, mtu anajua kuongelesha wasichana. Charisma, riz. Charisma, riz. It's just a shortening of the word. Naelewa. Aya. Giat, a person with a curvy body, often objectifying. So inamaanisha ako na matako kubwa. Because she's giat that ass. Sasa ni kudodosa. So she's got that ass, she's giat. So kiona mtu akisema she has that giat, inamaanisha she has a big ass. Sawa. Main character energy inamaanisha confidence or self-centeredness. She's in her main character era. So ni kama life is a movie and I'm the main character. Mimi ndo ule mse, mimi ndo kusema. Not all of these are bad, by the way. Main character energies inamaanisha mtu akona self-confidence. NPC means non-playable character, somebody seen as robotic or lacking individuality. So in games kuna kwanga na the character that you're playing as, and now the other characters around your character, sindio? So now an NPC is an unplayable character, a character that you're not playing as, and they tend to be very boring. So now that's where that word comes from. So ukiona mtu mwingine, and it's used to exclude others. So maybe tuko na kaklik ketu hapa, mimi na Awino na Kang'ethe, sindio? And then tunaona Karo, and then nasema Karo is such an NPC. Namaanisha she's boring, she doesn't fit in. I'm not saying that in the example too, by the way. Yeah. So that's what an NPC means, and it's usually used as nakwanga like degrading or like to exclude somebody from the group. It's giving, it describes the vibe somebody that's giving, the vibe somebody is giving off. So kisema hiyo suti ya Kang'ethe jana, it looked nice, it's giving executive. Inamaanisha na come to executive sana. Yeah. So it's giving executive. Someone ya Reverend jana, it was so nice, it's giving savior. So inamaanisha that someone it's really like it's really good, it can save somebody, like it can save somebody's soul. It's the vibe that a certain thing is giving. So bet means okay or cool. Ati? Yeah. Ana ushaanza kuitumia. Ana watoto wenyu watashtuka sana leo. Wazi mtakuwa mnatumia. So next is bet. It means okay or cool. So you bet. It's shortened for you bet. You bet I'm going to do that. You bet that's going to happen. So bet means okay or cool. Alafu low key versus high key. It means secretly or openly. Chini ya maji ama something that's very open. So low key inamaanisha chini ya maji, because kama if you are low key, like unacheza chini. So that's what low key means. Alafu high key is the opposite. Inamaanisha something that's obvious. So ukiona mtoto wako akisema low key I have a crush on him, inamaanisha niko na crush kwake lakini sijamwambia. I'm trying to keep it chini ya maji. Sigma or alpha, that means independent, confident or dominant. It means it's used in online culture, like gendered online culture. So if you're an alpha male, or like with wolves kwa packs, kuna kwanga na the biggest male hata kwa simba. See, there's the main lion. So it's usually called the alpha. So if you're an alpha, it means that when you're confident, when you let say basically. So this is mostly used by guys, by men, by teenage boys. So and so is an alpha. So inamaanisha actually I've never found like a girl being referred to as an alpha or a saint. So ops means enemies or rivals, that is opposition. So and so is my op, inamaanisha so and so is my enemy. Soft life, I think this is a bit obvious. Living stress-free or in comfort and manifesting a soft life. Touch grass, it means to go outside or to disconnect from the internet. So mtu akiwa online a lot anaambiangwa go and touch grass. Weka simu chini, go and touch grass. Toka nje, interact with people in the real world. Yeah. So ukiona mtoto wako amekuwa on the phone for 12 hours straight, ako TikTok, unamwambia go touch grass. Cooked, it means overwhelmed, embarrassed or done or finished. That exam cooked me. Inamaanisha hiyo kitu imekumaliza in the bad way. Yeah, I'm cooked. haven't studied for the exam, I'm cooked. I didn't remove the like, unaona venye unaambianga mtoto wako atoe kuku kwa freezer and then asahau, alafu nakuja, so your kid will say I'm cooked. Next is mid. It means mediocre or unimpressive. Welcome. Hi, welcome. Maybe you can just tell us your name and your age, just a brief introduction. Pardon? Mary? Miriam. Okay. Kuna miaka ngapi? 43. Kuna watoto wangapi? Wako na miaka ngapi? Okay. Welcome Miriam, karibu. So tunaongelea, just to catch you up, tunaongelea digital safety, sababu watoto wetu wako very deep into the online culture. It's part of their lives, sindio? So it's important to understand some of the things that they are speaking about, some of the ways they're interacting. So that's what we are talking about, Sai. Aya, you are mid. Mid means mediocre or unimpressive. Mediocre, okay? And then no cap, it means for real or no lie. So inamaanisha kitu ni ukweli. And then skirt, it means leaving quickly or changing the topic suddenly. Sababu ukiwa kwa gari and then you like ukiweka the brakes haraka or you put the accelerator haraka, kuna venye that sound that it makes. So that's the sound that, now that's what they're writing, that's what it means. And then mood, vibe check, that is somebody's emotional state or energy, or it's used to describe something that you agree with, not somebody, something. So ukiona like a really nice movie, that movie was such a mood, so it means that it passed the vibe check, like it has good energy, it has good vibes. So umeelewa mpaka hapo? Nilisema mkuwe keen because I'm going to give you guys a quiz. Clock it. Kangeza yako sawa, napata 90% huyo. So I've created conversations that teenagers would have. So nataka mzisome and tell me what they mean. Sawa. So these conversations are the conversations that your teenagers are having. Na mtaki unaona venye meshtuka juu hizo emojis. So you want to be able to understand what they are talking about. Sindio? Aya. Number 1, I want you to read this conversation and tell me what's going on. She's such a red flag, always in his DMs. I know, right? It's giving desperate. He doesn't even have Riz. Alafu your emoji. Alafu she's so delulu. Tell me what's happening in that, what they're talking about in those text messages. 5 marks. Karo anaongelea nini? What do the first 2 messages mean? Hizo text za kwanza 2 zinamaanisha nini? She's such a, yeah. Na hiyo red flag inamaanisha. Hatari kweli. What about the second one? The second text inamaanisha nini? I know, right? It's giving desperate. He doesn't even have Riz. Riz tulisema inamaanisha. Kang'ethe. Huh? Mko keen? Aya. I didn't kawambia where the word comes from. Yeah. So inamaanisha akona charisma, akona game. So hana game. Yeah, hana game. Ndio. Yeah, because ana. And then yeah, mwisho. Yeah, she's so delusional. Yeah. So here kwanza, she's such a flag, haimaanishi hatari. Inamaanisha that kuna venye ana behave that the other person doesn't like. So kama mimi naongelea Karo and I say you are such a red flag, inamaanisha kuna kitu unafanyanga ama kuna venye uko that I don't agree with. So it's a red flag, I don't agree with venye uko. So like I don't like you. Ati? Force issues there, exactly. And again. Next question. Next one. Yo bro, remember last night? Halafu skull emoji na the leaf emoji yenye iko na smoke hapo. Bro, I was so cooked. Halafu another skull emoji. All of us were except Jason. Jason is a total NPC. His sister has that get though. No cap, huh? Brain probably goes crazy. Unajua kenye inamaanisha? Niambie sasa. Niambie hiyo ya kwanza inamaanisha nini? Bado? Tulisema the leaf emoji ikiwa na moshi inamaanisha. Mtu anatoka. Yes, very good Kangeza. Alafu the skull emoji tulisema inamaanisha, haimaanishi kukufa, haimaanishi mtu amekufa, inamaanisha kucheka kabisa. So hiyo text ya kwanza inamaanisha last night wanacheka venye walikuwa na they were smoking. Bro, I was so cooked. Ilimaliza. Nilikuwa high hadi nilikuwa namaliza. Yeah. Kitu imekumaliza. Jason hakusmoke. So wanaita Jason an NPC. NPC inamaanisha nini? Yeah, kutoka outside the clique. A boring person. Sababu hakuwa nao wakismoke. Lakini sister yake akona amebeba. Yes, maembe. Nilileta maembe kwa hiyo party. No cap inamaanisha. Yeah, no lie. Her brain probably goes crazy inamaanisha. Hiyo ni brain, hiyo ni akili. Ni ile ulikushtua sana. Yes, oral sex. Yes. So anasema probably she knows how to give oral sex. Anajua kufanya blowjob. anakupea simu hivi vizuri, wewe unasoma unasema iko sawa. We'll talk about that actually. Seti nawacha kwa mata, there's a practical part of it that nitawaambia how to handle it. Yeah. Ilikuwa season ya maembe. Sister yake alileta maembe. Kuna akili, alikuwa number 1 kwa class term. Aya, next. Hey, wanna get some? Yeah, exactly. No, I'm just gonna hop on the hub for some. Maanisha nataka mutungo. So, yes. So on the hub inamaanisha Pornhub. Pornhub is a site for pornographic material. So I'm just going to get on Pornhub, watch porn, and then sleep. Mood inamaanisha. Yeah, you agree. Kang'ethe nono unazipata. Aya ya mwisho. OMG, Ashley is such an op. I know, right? Huh? Probably stinks too. And then a mad small. An op inamaanisha pressure. Op. An enemy. Yeah. Aya. Next. I know, right? Your emoji probably stinks too. Ile chapati yenye si chapati. Yes, is mocha. Breasts. Hizo si plums, hizo ni breasts. So and the breasts are small too. Not mad small, they're very small. Nawezi juu. Now wanaelewa, so you imagine how it affects them. Yeah. Aliambia maembe ni kidogo. Welcome. Hi. Naweza jintroduce kidogo. Jina yako ni? Salata. Kuna watoto wangapi? Wawili. How old and how old? Okay. Welcome, Consolata. So tunaongelea the digital world of our children, sababu that's where they live. Okay, just to catch you up. So tumeangalia the emojis that they're using and the language that they're using kwa text zao. Umeelewa? Umeshtuka? But this is what's happening. Like these are the terms that they're using. These are some of the things that they're saying. These are some of the things that are being said to them. Okay? So it's important for everybody to understand so that you're better able to protect your children and you're better able to guide them. Sababu utakuwa unaelewa the context of some of these things that they're talking about. So, like I said, list that I gave, it's not exhaustive, it's just the common ones. Okay? Na pia there's also inside jokes between them. So haimaanishi ati ukijua hizi you have known everything. And it's something that we'll talk about later. But these are the most common ones. Okay? So Now that tumeongelea the emojis that they're using, I want us to take a look at the adolescent brain, okay? How it functions and how it develops, okay? So that whatever your child, your adolescent does more, hivyo ndo atakuwa like, those are the habits that atakuwa nazo, and they can be either good or bad. So if your child is somebody who bullies other people, who is very aggressive na anaendelea kuwa aggressive without being corrected, inamaanisha hata akigrow up ataendelea kuwa aggressive, sababu hiyo ndo inabaki. Being gentle, being respectful, it's not being used. So akili inasema, because I'm not using these ones, inatoa. So that is what is called synapse. Whatever your child, your adolescent does, hiyo ndo inabaki, okay? And that can either be good or bad. Okay. Akili haijui ati this is supposed to be done. Inajua tu ndo inatumika, so hiyo inabaki. Hiyo haitumiki, inatoa, okay? Now, repeated experiences, they shape the brain. So if an adolescent repeatedly experiences rejection, the brain becomes more prepared to detect rejection. So, for example, not even rejection haimaanishi ati amekataliwa na dem ama amekataliwa na boy. Rejection can also come from you as a parent. That is, they try to open up to you, but unasema niko busy, or we talk some other time, ama unamgombanisha. That is rejection to them. So when you reject them, they grow up detecting rejection. So watakuwa na issues na self-esteem and all that, okay? But if there is safety, the brain becomes more capable of trusting. Tutoka akijua, I can trust you, it means that akigrow up, atakuwa more trusting and more secure in the relationship. Same thing for criticism and support. Una criticize mtoto wako, anajaribu kufanya kitu mzuri, ona na tu mabaya. You keep on criticizing that person, your child. That means that, so the brain inaeka the word world is going to criticize me. So they become more sensitive to evaluation, they become more insecure. But if they experience support, they become more regulated, they have more self-esteem. Tumeelewa? Now, as they're growing up, kuna parts, yeah. Yeah.
Bad thing most of the time.
Yeah.
Not doing good things. Which means akikuwa atawachana na hii nzuri kabisa.
Endelea kunini the bad things. Ni kama exercising. Exercise, tuseme you exercise your bicep, lakini you don't exercise miguu zako. Si miguu zako zitakuwa weak, gani itakuwa strong? The biceps, ndio. So if your child is doing bad things, akifanya vitu mbaya, it's exercising the brain that like nikifanya kitu mbaya kuna kitu itanifanyikia and I actually get what I want, so ataendelea kuwa mbaya, and they are not exercising the respectful part of the brain. So hizo the respectful part itaendelea kididimia. Tusiana tu because growing up hakudisciplinia vizuri, so akili kasema nikitusi mtu that's good, hiyo ndio ikakaa. That's because you guys were raised vizuri. Yeah, you encourage the good behavior and then you discourage the bad behavior. Yeah. Yes. Ati? Yeah, clock it. Huh? Yeah, kwanza. Okay. Msimwekee hiyo emoji ya brain, haimaanisha kona akili kubwa. Simwekee hiyo. So the brain, the adolescent brain, our brains, they like to grow up, there are different areas that develop quicker. So, and there are areas that develop they develop slower, or they take time to develop. So the main area that develops the slowest is the prefrontal cortex. That is here. Go up on belly. So the prefrontal cortex, it's the part of your brain that controls decision making, control planning, control consequences. So understanding values, that's the part of the brain that controls all that. And when you're an adolescent, your part haijakuwa mature. So bado it's still in the process of growing. The prefrontal cortex, this part, it matures when you're 25 years old. Understand? So before 25, your ability to reason, your ability to think about consequences, it's diminished. Si ati haiko, but it's to a much less extent than mtu maybe ako 41 versus mtu ako 16. So nyote mko na prefrontal cortex, lakini yako it's more developed than for your teenager. So that means that your teenager is less able to think about consequences, is less able to plan for the future vizuri, is less able to think about their emotions and how these emotions affect them and what the consequences are for these emotions. So that's all this is part of the prefrontal cortex. So during adolescence, these areas are still developing, and it doesn't mean that they can't reason. It means that the reasoning it's very easy for this reasoning to be disrupted. So a calm teenager can make a very mature decision, lakini that same teenager akipata peer pressure ata struggle to make mature decision sababu prefrontal cortex yake haija develop kabisa. Sawa. Now there's another part of the brain called the limbic system. So the limbic system, it's the emotional center of the brain. So this is the part of the brain that controls your emotions. Emotions zako ukiwa happy, ukiwa angry, ukiwa sad, this is where it's controlled. So these are some of the parts of it. So the limbic system, it's made up of different parts. So there's the amygdala, it controls threat detection, danger, vitu kama hizo. Okay, so during adolescence, emotional experiences can be very significant sababu they are not thinking with the prefrontal cortex. So the prefrontal cortex is the main one, like the main part of the brain that inakusaidia kufikiria vizuri, to think logically. Yao haija develop, so then now they're using the limbic system. So now their feelings are much more intense sababu when your prefrontal cortex imemature, it means that inaweza balance na the emotional side. Sawa. Lakini sasa the prefrontal cortex ya a teenager haija mature, lakini the limbic system, the emotional part, imemature. So naona hakuna balance. So their feelings are much more intense than the thoughts because hakuna that balance. So that's why the feelings they feel are so intense, because they're not just feeling emotions, they're building meaning around those emotions. Sawa. So what are the common, now that we've understood the brain of an adolescent, what are the common online risks for children? First of all is cyberbullying, so emotional abuse through digital platforms. Naambiwa plum zako ni ndogo. That is cyberbullying sababu a person is making comments about your body, sindio? Ama you're told you're an NPC, because teenagers, they really want to belong to a certain clique or a certain group. So when they face rejection, they feel like they're being, it's like they're being emotionally abused in a sense, especially wakitusiwa. You're not one of us, you're an NPC. Online grooming, that is, so grooming, it's when, okay, ukiwa online, si nimekwambia some of these platforms hazina age verification. So inamaanisha even if you are below 18, you can still get onto them. Lakini haimaanisha tiju uko below 18 on a certain platform that everybody is below 18. So inamaanisha they are older adults, watu wako in their 30s and their 40s, and they're talking to your children who are 16, 15, 12, 13. So grooming is when an older adult anajaribu convince your teenager or a younger person to have sex with them, start a relationship. That is grooming. And because hizi platforms hazina verification, it means that watoto wako wanaweza jipata on these platforms that are unsafe for them. Watapatana nao watu sasa. Exposure to harmful content, that is violence, pornography, hate speech, just like I had mentioned, the risks of these online platforms. And then privacy risks, oversharing personal details or photos. So mtoto wako anaenda Instagram, anachukua picha akiwa in her underwear, and then she posts. And then now people who are in their 30s or their 40s wanajaribu wanamdm, wanamdirect message, wanaanza a relationship, an online relationship. So oversharing. And then digital addiction, dependence on screens for validation. Mtoto wako uko on the phone for 14 hours a day, hata halali, because they're looking for validation, they're looking for other things. Hello. So what are some of the signs of online harm? Fresha had actually mentioned one of them, withdrawing from the family. That is, mtoto wako alikuwa very happy, mlikuwa mna spend time na yeye, lakini all of a sudden anaanza kujitenga, anajifungia kwa room for most of the day. That is a sign of possible online harm. Obsession with the phone or irritability when asked to connect. Your kid is on the phone for most of ukijaribu kumwambia siweke simu chini, anakuwa ana get angry and they become irritable. Changes in sleeping or eating patterns. Mtoto wako alikuwa anaamka asubuhi, lakini siku hizi hiyo 6 alikuwa anaamka 6, lakini siku hizi hiyo 6 am ndo anaenda kulala. Amekuwa up the whole night. Loss of interest in offline hobbies. Alikuwa anapenda football, lakini siku hizi anasema ali lose interest. Frequency accuracy, turning screens off quickly or deleting history. Mtoto wako ako hivi, alafu akisikia akifungua mlango anaweka simu chini ama anaweka kwa mfuko. That's something that could be it could be a sign that mtoto wako is being harmed online. Increased defensiveness or aggression when questioned about online life. So those are the behavioral signs. That is what you can look for in the behavior. Like venye mtoto ana act, that is the behavior. Okay? So the emotional signs are sadness, unexplained sadness, anxiety or anger, especially after using the devices. So mtoto wako amekuwa on TikTok ama wherever, and then unaona ako sad, ako very angry, it means that probably they're being cyberbullied. Okay? Over dependence on online validation, that's likes of followers. Mtoto wako ana post picha yake and they get like 1 or 2 likes ama hawapati likes. The rest of the day ako very sad. Hiyo imemharibia siku. Low self-esteem or self-comparison to influencers. Example nilikuwa nimepeana, mimi am short, naona mtu mwingine ako 6 feet, najikompea kwake, so that messes with my self-esteem. Alafu guilt or shame about something online but unwilling to talk. So naona mtoto wako kuna venye ako disturbed lakini hataki kuongea about it. And then the digital footprint signs. Using new apps that you haven't heard of. Unajua Facebook, unajua WhatsApp, unajua Telegram. Unaona mtoto wako amedownload Discord na akwambia ni nini. That should be like a bit of a cause for concern. Creating multiple social media accounts or hidden profiles. Unajua Instagram handle ya mtoto wako lakini ako na ingine. Sasa hiyo ingine ndio anafanya vitu anataka. So ukiuliza mtoto wako, hebu nione Instagram yako, anakupea simu vizuri because anajua hii account nakupea is the one that you know about, lakini ako na account ingine. Okay? And then frequent late night messaging and sudden changes in online friends or chat tone. When mtoto wako alikuwa na chat, it's not the same, like inaenda ikichange. Anakuwa more aggressive, anaanza kutumia emojis hujaiona. That can be a cause for concern. Okay? Wangapi wetu tushasikia kuhusu ChatGPT? So ChatGPT, it's a software that is like it's used to mimic a human being, like how it would talk to you, like how a human being would talk to you. That is how it's built. It's almost like a human. Okay, but now it's very risky. Okay, it has its advantages. Like I've said, kila kitu kona advantages na disadvantages. So it has its advantages sababu you can use it to learn a lot as long as you verify the information. So kuna hii advantage, lakini sasa the disadvantage is because it's built to sound like a human, it's easier for your adolescents. Tumesema their brains aren't developed vizuri, like they haven't developed completely, especially the prefrontal cortex. So it's harder for them to make a logical decision. So when they talk to a program that is built to sound like a human, they almost believe that it's a human. So they are more easily influenced by it. Naelewa? And now that can carry the risk of what you're seeing. These are cases that actually happen. These are things that actually happen. So there's a teenager who was suicidal and aliconfide kwa ChatGPT. And ChatGPT, instead of, okay, if somebody comes to you and they're suicidal, you'll say, you'll try to be there for them, you'll refer them to a psychologist, unaambia upate usaidizi, si ndio? Lakini sasa ChatGPT it's built to be very agreeable, like ina agree na kila kitu nasema. So if I want to take my own life, alafu niende kwa ChatGPT and ChatGPT is agreeing with everything that I'm saying, it will say, yeah, by the way, that's a good idea, I think you should. Your life is very hard, I think the only solution ni kujitoa uhai. And then now, because I'm a teenager, I don't like my logical center haija mature vizuri, I'll be influenced and then I'll take my own life. So these two instances are instances of something that actually happened. So there's a boy called Adam Rain. He was 16. He was suicidal. Confided in ChatGPT, and in the end, because of the encouragement he got, he took his own life. Then there's also another AI chatbot that pushed a teen to kill himself. So najua I have scared you a lot. I've made you uncomfortable, sindio? And now the instinct that mko nayo is I'm just going to burn the phones. Sindio? Kuna wenye wanasema nikifika home leo hata hiyo na simu hadi akuwe 18, sindio? See, that's what we are thinking, right? But unfortunately that won't work. Okay? Because it might seem like the easy solution, like it seems like a very easy solution. There's all this harm, there's all this potential for them to get hurt, potential to hurt others. So tachukua tu simu and I do away with the phone until their prefrontal cortex matures. But that won't work because the world that they live in, the digital world, it's not a trend, it's something that's here to stay. It's part of their lives. Okay? It's part of everybody's life now. It's not something that itakuwa ati it will pass by. Okay? We are not going back to, I'm not calling you guys old, but you're not going back to your times yenye mtu mmoja alikuwa na simu in the whole neighborhood. The digital world is here to stay. So trying to ban your children from having phones, it will actually do more harm than good. Okay? So when you remove the phones, you're not teaching your child a healthy ways to cope. You're just teaching them to be better at keeping secrets. Okay? Sababu when you ban them from devices, they'll use them in secret or they'll borrow a friend's phone, because you're not the only parent who can give your child a phone. Other parents have given their children phones, so watakuwa na meet time ya church ama kwa shule, and then now your child is using another person's phone, and phones can have multiple accounts, so anatumia tu vizuri. Okay? You also miss out on learning how to use they also miss out on learning how to use technology safely and responsibly, because you're not practicing digital boundaries with them. You've banned the phones, okay, but now that means that they lose the opportunity to safeguard themselves in the digital world. Okay? They also develop resentment and rebellion instead of reflection. They see you as the enemy. Because you have taken away their phone. So instead of self-reflecting, so tumesema their prefrontal cortex haija mature kabisa. So they're not thinking logically that you're trying to protect them. They're seeing you as an enemy. The only thing they can see is mama amechukua simu yangu, dada amechukua simu yangu. Okay? So instead of like reflecting, they'll rebel against you. And they'll fail to build digital literacy. That is the ability to discern manipulation, misinformation. They won't be able to do that sababu you're not giving them practice. It's like you've banned your child from practicing football. Alafu akifika 18 namwingisha kwa league, alafu namwambia haya sasa cheza. They won't be skilled. Sindio? Where have the skills come from? They haven't been practicing. It's the same thing with digital safety. They have not practiced how to navigate the digital world vizuri. So that's why I'm saying banning phones, it actually harms them. It does more harm than good. Okay? So we solution si ati unarudi home, ukirudi home leo unachukua simu zao. That actually is detrimental. Sawa. So what do you do instead of banning? Instead of banning, as parents you can co-create healthy limits. That is, unasema at dinner no devices, okay? Shared charging stations at night. Now I want you to mark the word co-creating. You're creating these rules together, okay? I know enzi zenu ilikuwa mzee amesema ama mama amesema kitu and that's how it goes, sindio? Yeah, the word is law, lakini that's not how things are. It's more healthy to co-create. So you create a rule and then you also ask them, okay, what rule would you like to create? So now that's very helpful because they also take ownership in the process, okay? Because they're like, these aren't rules that I was just given. These are rules that I actually had to create. Ni kama tumeandika katiba yetu home. So they'll be more invested in it and it will be easier for them to follow the rules rather than mama amesema, dada amesema, mbona? They'll rebel, sindio? Explore apps together and discuss content critically. So it's not that you're banning them, you explore them together. Unaona? And you move from a point of curiosity, not accusation. So unaona, like let's say for example, unaona kwa simu ya mtoto wako a new app. You don't come to them and then start asking, ini gani, ini nini? Unafanya nini? Because guy alikushtua, unadhani that they are doing something bad. That won't help, okay? So you move from a point of curiosity. Umeona something new on your phone. What is this? Can you teach me? They're actually very excited to teach. Teenagers are actually very excited to teach you things because they, as their parents, they admire you. So imagine somebody that you look up to coming to them and asking them, by the way, what is this? You get an opportunity to teach. It's almost like you're on the same level. Okay, not that you're on the same level, on the same playing ground, but you have something of value to give to you. You get. And then you use natural opportunities to teach. So for example, discussing the things that are happening. Like for example, the Tumishi girls tragedy. That can actually be an opportunity for you to connect with a child. What are people saying online about the Tumishi tragedy? You take opportunities to actually connect with your child and you focus on coaching rather than controlling. Because the fact of the matter is you can't control them, absolutely. You don't have complete control over them. Kutakuwa na hiyo area that they are free and that is where they'll exploit it. So instead of trying to control them, you coach them so that even when they are not around, even when you're not around, they still have those values and those lessons that ulikuwa umewafunza. Because a child that's only taught to obey rules will follow them until they are unsupervised. But a child who's taught to think critically will stay safe even when no one's watching, even when you're not there. The values that you give them will stay with them. So, and even like about control, when they see you doing the things that, and it goes back to what I was saying about co-creating, when they see you doing the things that you told them not to do, how will they respond? So they'll be more incentivized to rebel. Sababu, we created these rules, but mama and dad, hawanini. Actually, I want to do something with you guys. Take your phones, have your phones in your hand. Fungua settings. Fungua settings. Nataka you go to a setting called digital well-being. It should be called digital well-being. could look differently. Kama hujapata, don't worry, I'll come. It's a bit different. Yeah, digital balance, digital well-being. I think yours is a bit different. So, lakini has everyone else gotten? Kanyada umepata? So you can see like a pie chart hapo, si ndio? So unaona like a pie chart hapo, si ndio? That is the data of how much you have used your phone and how much each app, how much time you have spent on each app. Okay? So ukiona who wants to share theirs? Kwani mko na aibu? Ha? Kama nyinyi pia ni addicts wa simu, sasa ni 12:30 lakini mko na 12 hours used on your phone. Carol, hebu tuone yako. So yako ni so today you have used your phone for 2 hours 2 minutes. The apps that you have used are Light, WhatsApp, Settings, Phone, and Other. So Facebook Lite, that is Facebook. So Facebook, you have used it for 55 minutes. WhatsApp, you have used it for 29 minutes. So if you want more details, you can view up activity details. Kanya the evangelist, hebu tuone yako. You have used your phone today for 1 hour 28 minutes. WhatsApp, you have used it for 31 minutes. Facebook 27 minutes. Phone for 8 minutes. ChatGPT for 10 minutes. Sioni mtu ametumia Biblia leo na ni Sunday. Haya. Ni Saturday. Lakini bado. Hakuna mtu ametumia Facebook 1 hour 25 minutes. You have used your phone for 1 hour 25 minutes. Hiyo ni excuse. I do not accept that. You have used your phone for 1 hour 25 minutes. Facebook umetumia 54 minutes. WhatsApp 13. Uko na Bible. Very nice. Jipigia makofi by the way. The Bible for 5 minutes. Yeah. During the sermon. Butone yako. So today you have used your phone for 39 minutes. Facebook umetumia for 12 minutes. Camera for 10 minutes. Contacts for 6 minutes. All apps that you open are recorded on your phone. And that is how you access them. Okay? And this works even for, yes? That's how you can access that data. So, yeah, even on your child's phone. So ukitaka kujua mtoto wako ametumia simu for how long and which apps amekuwa akiitumia, that's where you go. Settings, digital well-being ama digital something. Sawa.
There way you can control how long one is using certain apps.
Yeah. So ukiangalia hapo kwa app timers. So for example, if you want to use, let's say let's say you want to use Facebook. Facebook. Unaweka. So you set at midnight. So if you want to use Facebook for 30 minutes in a day, unaweka 30 minutes. If you want to use it for like let's say 1 hour 30 minutes, unaweka hapo. And then okay. So itakuwa ina record how long you use it. In a day, ikipita 1 hour 30 minutes, simu inakwambia you have used Facebook for 1 hour 30 minutes, and it can even close there.
So it can close till now.
The next day. Tutafika hapo. We are still going to talk about it for us. Yeah. So kwa hiyo digital well-being, when you kwa hiyo pie chart, ukienda hapo kwa app timers, look for app timers. So when you scroll, naona ako ka nini kako kando ya all those apps. That is the timer. So that's where you set how long you want that app to be used per day. So let's say for example, you want to use Facebook for 1 hour 30 minutes. Una scroll hadi unapata Facebook, alafu unaweka hapo 1 hour 30 minutes. Umeelewa? Yeah, digital balance, screen time management. So, app limits. So, ukitaka kutumia Instagram, tuseme so ukitaka kutumia Instagram for let's say 1 hour, unaweka your limit 1 hour. So inamaanisha per day itakuwa ina record. So 1 hour ikipita that tumetumia Instagram like cumulative, 1 hour ikipita itakwambia na itafunga hapo. So unaona easy. That's the limit sasa. So for example, kama unataka kutumia Facebook for 1 hour 30 minutes, si unatumia unaweka 1 hour 30 minutes. Okay. So during the day itakuwa ina record umetoka ukitumia Facebook for how long. So 1 hour 30 minutes ikifika, app inafunga, alafu inakwambia you have used Facebook for 1 hour 30 minutes. Yeah, but you can actually override it. Yeah, it will warn you. Yeah, it's just to control how long you can use an app, and that can also apply for your child's phone. Okay. So that's a practical tool I've given you for you to manage yourself and also to manage your child's screen time. Tumesema it's like you're following the rules. It's co-creating these rules. Sawa. Unaandika katiba yenu. Nakubaliana tunatumia simu for this amount of time. Okay? So as parents, what's your role in digital safety? So this is the last part of the presentation. Okay? So what's your role in digital safety as parents? The first one is connection before correction. So teenagers, your children, they open up when they feel understood before they feel judged. If they feel judged, if they experience rejection, they'll grow up to expect rejection. So when they face rejection, do you think they'll open up? Mtoto wako amekukujia ako na issue, alafu unamwambia Like let's say for example, mtoto wako amekuja, niko na headache. Mom, dad, niko na headache. Alafu namwambia, si nimekwambia utokange kwa hiyo simu, mbona unatumianga hiyo simu? Do you think they'll open up to you next time? When they're being bullied, when they're being told how their ass is small or their breasts are small, things that will shatter their self-esteem, do you think they'll open up to you? Because you have proven to them that you're not safe. Connection before correction. You have to connect with them. Okay? So that means that you ask questions from, when you ask questions from curiosity. You don't say, why are you always online? You say, what's your favorite thing to do online lately? So, Nana, the difference is, with the second question, you're going to them, like you're going to their level, you're trying to enter their world, you're showing that you've got an interest to experience the things that they're experiencing. And then once they let you into the world, now you can correct. What are some of the things that you like to do online? Oh, that's nice. By the way, I was thinking, because you like to do these things online, like let's say for example they like to play football online, si tukue tunaguza football even offline, like to set a certain amount of time kwa unacheza online alafu a certain amount of time ucheze offline. So you're connecting and then you're correcting, so that in case they were spending like 8 hours a day on the phone, they're like, oh, my parent is actually interested in the things that I'm doing, let me be interested in the things that they're saying also. You connect with them. Okay, you co-create boundaries, you don't impose them. So you sit with a child, mnaandika katiba yenu, sawa, screen free meal times, device curfews, content filters. So like I said, when children are part of the process, they own the process. So they take ownership of the boundary. They're like, I had a role in this, so I'm going to also play my part. So and now mkiandika katiba, haimaanishi ati hii katiba ni ya mtoto peke yake. So you model what you teach. I think Kaneda had said something about the children follow what they see rather than what they hear. So if you tell your child no screens during meal times, tukikula hakuna simu, alafu wewe uko hapo WhatsApp ama TikTok while you're eating, what will the child think? This isn't a serious boundary. So now they'll resent you and they'll try to circumnavigate the rules that you had followed, that you had created. Forgot.
I was on my phone. That rules.
Yes, that was really good.
And then I felt like maybe na wao walishajua chakula ikiletwa wakaenda they switch off. Actually they switch off. Mama yao akijaribu kusahau kidogo I think what you are saying I can relate. And it create also, unaona hata wao wana
exactly, sababu mko na katiba yenu.
kabisa. Na wewe mwenyewe ukibreak your message pamoja, very quick to
they hold you accountable.
Yes,
as they should. And now that's a very good thing, because now even later in life it will model a sense of security and assertiveness for them. Because if you can call your parent out, who can't you call out? Sindio? So if somebody bullies them, if somebody is mistreating them, they'll call that person out and they'll actually be safe enough to tell you, so and so ananisumbua. if you're like akikuja kwako, you validate that really about it. You're showing interest. You're showing that this matters to me because it matters to you. And now they get to open up. The more they open up, now validate their feelings. I'm sorry, that must be difficult. Like it's like I get why you're feeling this way, and then now from there you work on how do you move forward from this thing, like how do you solve it. So, but first you need to empathize with them, and then now you understand that this is something that's very huge to them. So Muka, we said about the emotions. They feel the emotions very intensely. So imagine the anger that you feel times 3. Imagine the sadness that you feel times 3. Ona na mtu amesema skati yako iko ipo. That's not a big deal to you because the prefrontal cortex it's developed. So you're like you have your own value system, you have your own ways to regulate yourself. Them they don't have that. So they're feeling where like mtu kuambia you didn't look good today. It's a very huge thing. Siku imeharibika hivyo. And you have to understand that, and now you validate what they're feeling, and then now from there you work on raising self-esteem. You work on now the issue itself. Unless Veronica has something to add to that.
of how much damage it caused us. So tunatembeanga tukisema si tulitokea sawa. Nani alikwambia uko sawa? Aje uko sawa? Kuna behavior zingine uko nayo tutakuangalianga and we are like red flag. Kuna watu wengi hapa, if I was given permission naweza ikanga red flag. Mtembeange na warning sign. Because most of you are not safe. And it's not your fault, it's because of how you are raised. And that's what we usually call transgenerational transmission of pathology. You were raised with pathology, your parents had pathology, they raised them with you, now you're also raising with, and it becomes a cycle. And every parent claps for themselves because they think they are better than their, but their parents were really bad. Right? Nikiwapea example ile mtaelewa, your parents gave you, when you were being raised, your parents gave you rotten meat. Survive. Now usually give your child rotten rice. Doesn't smell as bad as rotten meat, but you're clapping for yourself. Because you're like, I mean, nilikula rotten? No, you see what I'm saying? But you're busy clapping for you? I'm not bad. It's just rotten. Is it rotten? Is it rotten? What do we need to do? Throw it away. We learn. And you learn from something. And we learn. I'm not saying everything your parents did was wrong, but I'm also not saying they were malicious. Remember, I was saying this transgenerational transmission? Generation after generation, and the pathology a lot of people started with the people who are colonized. Before that, it was healthy. The minute colonization came, it began bringing pathology to the parenting system. So it
just to add on to what Veronica said, in the biblical perspective, there's this saying that people like to use a lot, spare the rod, spoil the child. Nadhani hiyo imepea license ya kugonga mtoto venye unataka, si ndio? I'm not sparing the rod, but the rod, it actually means, doesn't mean that you the rod in the biblical sense is it's a shepherd. It's used to show guidance. Thy rod and thy staff guide me. So when they say spare the rod, spoil the child, if you don't guide your child, you're spoiling them. It doesn't mean that you unamchapa venye unataka. Doesn't mean. You co-create these boundaries. Sindio? Set of terms. Sindio? So you have to keep learning with them because that's their world. You explore apps and slang together. That is still part of connecting with them. And you let your child, let your child be the teacher sometimes because it builds trust. They can trust you. Okay? You build safe spaces for conversation. You normalize talking about online mistakes without fear of punishment. So if your child hides an issue, fear, it's usually because of fear. It's not even defiance. Because they're afraid of what will mom say, what will dad say. If I have an issue, if I'm being bullied, will they place the blame on me? That's fear. They're not being defiant, they're being fearful. They're trying to protect themselves because they don't think you're safe. So you have to be safe for them. Okay? You monitor with respect. So simeonyesha that digital well-being thing. So I'm an initiative because I've shown you how to monitor your child's activity on the phone, that you become a dictator. It's okay to supervise, but you have to do it with transparency. You have to let them know that I'm doing this because I want to protect you. Okay? So use shared accounts, parental tools openly. So you're not taking your child's phone and like secretly putting parental controls. Wanajua simu kukuliko and they'll know. Nadhani mnajua simu, they know more than you, far more than you. So when you try to like trick them, it shows them that mom doesn't trust me, dad doesn't trust me. So now they become defiant, they become even more rebellious. Okay? So you monitor them. It's okay to monitor them, but you be respectful about it. Okay? That means being open, being transparent. I'm doing this and this because of this and this. I'm monitoring this and this because I want to keep you safe. Okay? You monitor with respect. And then finally, you promote emotional regulation. That is, you teach them to notice when, tumeongea about the signs, some of the signs that they may be facing up, that anxiety, that withdrawal. So you teach them how these online experiences can trigger anger, sadness, the anxiety, and encourage them to take breaks. We've empowered you to see the signs. And that means that now you're able to even guide your child better, so that they can be like, when they're feeling sad, they don't know why they might be feeling sad, but unajua, most likely it's because they're spending too much time on the phone. There's something that they saw online that disturbed them and hawajui. So you draw that line for them, and then now you encourage them. Okay, let's go touch grass. Okay, toke simu chini, we touch grass. Okay, and then finally be accountable too. You must also reflect as parents. Do I get defensive when my child calls me out for scrolling too much? Uzuri Kang'ethe anatii sheria. When he's being called out, he follows the rules. So, but when your child calls you out, do you get defensive, and why do you get defensive? Do you gossip online or post negatively about others? You're talking to your child about respect and heshima, and then wewe mwenyewe unaenda kusengenya watu wengine kwa WhatsApp groups. Are you modeling are you the change that you want to see in your child? Do I respond to stress with screen time instead of self-care? Job imekustress, rent imekustress, unaamua acha niingie TikTok kidogo inakuwa 3 hours. You're displaying the same behaviors that you don't want your child to display, and then you expect them to change. because they'll notice. So accountability, it models authenticity. So showing that managing technology is a lifelong skill, not just a childhood rule. You're showing them that this is something that will apply even when I'm a grown up. It's not something that I'm being told just because I'm younger. So parenting, it's not about mastering every app. By the way, you don't have to master everything. You don't have to be very tech savvy. It's about mastering presence. It's about being there for your child. So when you stay curious, you stay grounded, and you stay open, children will learn that they don't have to face the noise of the world alone. They don't have to go through things alone. See, Veronica amesema you are their resource. So it shows them that enyewe, I have a good resource, okay? And you don't have to understand every app. You just have to stay connected enough that your child doesn't feel like they need to hide behind one. And with that, I am done. We magoti. Kuna watu wako hivi. Ni 10 kweli? Ni 10 kweli? Kaa chini. Oi. This is what you're doing. Vizuri, alafu unachora 0. Vizuri. Picha zenu ziko kwa magoti. Very interesting. Head, shoulder, knees and toes. Knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulder, knees and toes. Eyes, nose and mouth. Shoulder, head, shoulder, head, shoulder, head, shoulder, head, shoulder. Knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulder, knees and toes. Knees and toes.
time even they want to tell me something and their mother tells them, aki huyo mzee amechoka, huyo mzee, you know, I have come to realize whether nimechoka, whether nimefanya nini, I have to regulate myself so that I listen to them. Then the other one is connect before correct. Connect with them, and co-creating has been key. I have been doing it lakini sikuwa najua nafanya hivyo, but now I'll be doing it now properly. And also something else, kusikiza hawa watoto, kuwasikiza tu, kwa sababu anapokujia na kitu very genuine na wewe unamwekelea yako. So then also the emojis. Hizo na ile unitaje ile akabeba ile maembe ile na akili and then will we get to those things? If we can get those notes, at least we can be referring. And then something else, although I'm not concluding, I think we need this again. We will talk with the church chairman to give us this before and not on Sunday, a time like now. Na hiyo wakati sasa wenye tuko hapa tusimisi, because now it will be more packaged. Sasa tuende tujaribu kupractice hii ya leo, si ndio? So that by that time pressure tukikuja sasa, kwanza mtaanza kwa kutuuliza penye tulifikisha. Have you? And because it is in our strategic plan that we will be having lunch, we do it again before the end of the year, and specifically before wakuje nyumbani. Unajua wengine wako boarding, hata si boarding, hata wenye wako day. Sasa wakikuja nyumbani si wanakaa full time, na tunakaa nao, alafu tunaona tayari wamekuwa shule, sababu we are not regulating. Yeah, so we will need this again, so that kuna vitu nyingi sana nimesoma, but my take home regulating very important. Thank you, sir. Kwanza hiyo ya app pia unaona, pia mpaka pinya isikupee notifications za vitu, especially when you are concentrating focus mode. I didn't know that. Maybe una kama mimi na uko tu pale una deliver, alafu sasa ka WhatsApp kana pop. Ama unapata tu wife ndiye ameandika kitu ama M-Pesa. Unaona? Sasa unaona, and you see sasa wakati I knew that, sasa I avoided using the phone. I now use my laptop. Nothing will pop. Hata WhatsApp zenye zimeconnect hapo, they don't pop unless so you have helped us so much, kwa sababu sometimes kaa Facebook na ujui time inaenda. You could have used that time constructively on something else. Mimi nitakuwa natumia 1 hour na inaisha hivyo. But on WhatsApp, maybe, yes. Because you might need it at some point, kuangalia venye inchi inaenda, and then lakini sasa unaangalia sana TikTok, juu sasa ukishaona hii content, unaona hii content. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Wow.
Just projecting. We don't, it just happens unconsciously. We are not aware that we are doing it. But the same way we invalidate ourselves, they say it's the same way we invalidate God. So when you are aware that this is how I handle myself, then you can pause, reflect, and then look for a better way when you are interacting with people, so that you enter into their world.
I've spoken a lot, but mine is just to say that I've really enjoyed the session with you as well. I know it takes a lot to spare your time to come here, and I don't take that for granted. And my hope is that everything that you've learned, at least you put it into practice, because at the end of the day, Nonata Kangede has been putting it into practice, na imemsaidia. So that's what we want. We want to empower you guys to be able to raise your kids better and also to self-regulate. So I'm hoping that you can put it into practice, and I'm looking forward to more sessions like this with you guys.
vote of thanks on our behalf. Hiyo maneno watasema ni yetu sisi wote. Then I will pray. can't help you to open up. Sasa kama tungekuwa tumejaa hapa unakaa tu. Unakaa tu So we thank God. I have seen an opportunity for you people, and I'm going to rob you for it. You can speak with our teachers. Umeona kitu kama hiyo? Now, sasa unajua Josephine alikuja. Nauliza hiyo swali. Josephine alikuja peke yake. I'm trying to visualize it. Walimu wetu hapa wenye wanafunza watoto wetu, they have a day with you. You can imagine the impact now. Itakuwa ndani yao. And sasa na sisi nyumbani we do our part. You help the teachers kuja. Now you can imagine how impactful it has been, because we didn't have them. I wish we knew this would come. But now, watch ikuwe tailor-made for them, because I believe it will be different. So that na wao wajue how to handle them, because we are not taught this deep psychology in education. Hapana, inakuwa tu introduction kidogo na inapita. So Veronica, I can assure you, I will fight for that, so that now the teachers wafike mahali. So we thank God.
Ambia watu walimiss by the way.
I think we were somewhere with Josephine yesterday night, and Josephine, I think even in our group, that group of ours, hata siku kuja, we don't need now to kuja. We need to plan. We invite them. That cost yenye itagharamika, sisi to cost share. We pay them. They teach them at the comfort of our place. Mahali tutakuwa. Sio? Because we don't need to be here. Wacha watoto wacheze hapo na sisi tuna. I think that one will be so good, because we have a group of couples and we are all young. We need some